Welcome to 2024 New York City Veterans Day breakfast. As was mentioned, my name is James Hendon. I serve as commissioner for the New York City Department of Veteran Services. Please rise for the presentation of colors by the New York City Fire Department Color Guard, followed by the national anthem, which will be sung by FDNY firefighter Regina Wilson. Advance the colors.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Retire the colors. Let's give a round for our color guard and for Regina, please. Regina Wilson, FNY. Yeah, yeah. At this time, U.S. Navy Chaplain, Captain Retired Richard Anthony Pusateri will deliver our opening prayer.
And let us pray. Almighty God, grace and hearten us as we join to celebrate Veterans Day and the vast contributions of the millions of warriors who've served in the U.S. military. We thank you for American warriors throughout our history who have protected our nation, our freedom, and the cause of liberty. Renew a deep appreciation within us for the sacrifice, commitment, and valor of all of those who have worn the cloth of the nation. Bless the food and the fellowship of this joyous breakfast. Lord, inspire us this day as we lift up the sterling heritage of American military service. Stir our blessed remembrance of those killed in action and the many who carry the wounds of war. Hear our prayers for safety and noble purpose for American warriors serving today throughout the world. Grant special strength and shelter to those facing arduous duties and those serving in harm's way. Guide and protect their separated families. Ever lead our military and us in courage and selfless service in our nation's highest values and in faith in you. Amen.
All right. Now, where were we? Happy Veterans Day. Yeah. We'd like to give honors and salutations to our distinguished guests, starting with our Gold Star families. That is those here who have lost a loved one, specifically a family member in combat service. Let's give these family members a round of applause. Next, we'd like to recognize our elected officials in attendance from the New York City Council, Councilmember Gail Brewer, District 6. From the State Assembly, Assembly Member and Navy veteran, Chief, we just heard from Lester Chang, District 49. Assembly Member Latrice Walker, District 55. And from our state's higher leadership, New York State Attorney General Letitia James. Let's give a round. Next, key Marine Corps leaders who are here recognizing the U.S. Marine Corps as our featured service branch. Our guest speaker, Colonel Jimmy J.J. Wilson, Marine 250 Special Purpose Marine Air Ground Task Force Commander, the MACTIV. Colonel David Nickel, Commander, 1st Marine Corps District. Sergeant Major Jairo Fedona, Sergeant Major, 1st Marine Corps District. Lieutenant Colonel Matthew Hilton, New York Director, U.S. Marine Corps Communications Directorate. Let's give our Marines a hand, their leaders, please. Yeah. I'd also like to acknowledge leaders from other services of both local and visiting military commands. All of our leaders in uniform who are here, please give them a round. Yep. Next, I'd like to recognize our New York City Veterans Advisory Board and all of its members who are in attendance, acknowledging its leadership. Mercedes Elias, Marine Corps veteran, Chair. Ryan Graham, Air Force veteran, Vice Chair. Acknowledging my colleagues in New York City government, from the Department of Small Business Services, Commissioner Dinah Shaw Gross. New York City Emergency Management Commissioner and Marine Corps veteran, Zach Iskel. From the Mayor's Office of Special Projects and Community Events, Executive Director Trey Monahan. Department of Corrections Commissioner Linnell McGinley-Liddy. Department of Social Services Commissioner Molly Park. Mayor's Office to End Domestic and Gender-Based Violence Commissioner Saloni Sethi. Mayor's Office for People with Disabilities Commissioner Christina Curry. And Mayor's Office of International Affairs Commissioner and U.S. Army veteran Edward Mermelstein. Please, let's give them a round. Yeah. And of course, I want to call out my counterpart from the state, my sister from another mister, from the New York State Department of Veteran Services, Mama Viv, Commissioner and U.S. Marine Corps veteran, Viviana DeCohen. We love you, Mama Viv. Yeah. I'd also like to acknowledge our friends at the United War Veterans Council, organizers of Monday's Veterans Day Parade. The New York City Veterans Day Parade is the largest parade in the nation, and calling out Mark Otto, Executive Director, and Nick Angione, Chairman of the Board, both Marines. Yeah. And our parade's Grand Marshal, recognizing him in his absence, Sergeant Retired and Medal of Honor recipient Dakota Meyer, recognizing honorary marshals for the parade who are with us, Captain Retired Mercedes Elias, Chair of our New York City Veterans Advisory Board, and Master Gunnery Sergeant Retired John Escalante, Marine for Life and Team RWB. Let's give them a round. Yeah. Veterans lead in all places and at all times, including on the economic development front. That said, we are happy to announce here today the winners of New York City's second annual Boss Up Veteran Small Business Competition. Sponsored by the Ron and Kelly Moelis Foundation, and Ron and Kerry are here right now. Please give them a round, please, for Ron and Kerry, for the Moelis family. And run in partnership between the New York City Department of Small Business Services, the Department of Veteran Services, and the FJC Foundation. Over the past several weeks, more than 100 New York City-based veteran-owned small businesses competed in Boss Up. Of that number, 20 pitched as finalists, of whom 10 were declared winners. Each winner receives SBS counseling and a $20,000 grant. To announce this, let's get a drum roll, y'all. Come on, help me out. That's what you can, yeah. The 2024 Veteran Small Business Boss Up Competition winners are, and raise your hand when we say your name, Francis Bueso Jr., Telecommunication Electrical Contractors. We can clap as it's going. Miles Caggins, Word Warriors LLC. Charles Devine, Harlem Baking Company. Brian DeMarco, Harlem Standard. Daniel Lamarco, Barton Rogers Group. Sandra Nam and Lucas Chiaffi, Kiko Inc. Dr. Mecca Nelson, Mecca's City of Wholeness, LLC. Eric Powell, Thickenshire Glassworks. Natasha Standard, NINS, LLC. And Enrique Vargas, City Fades Barbershop and SMP. Congratulations to all of our Boss Up winners. Yeah. I want to acknowledge the team at DVS and the Mayor's Office of Special Projects and Community Events. Behind the scenes, they make this event and so many other things possible. And last but not least, amongst those who are present, you, our veterans. And we're going to call out everybody. So when I say your branch's name, we do this every year. Do me a favor, scream. Whether it's your branch or your family member's branch, daddy, mama, cousin, uncle, your neighbor's, grandfather's, best friend's, barber's, hairdresser, show us who you are. So we're going to do this by the order of the wheel this time. So the wheel is the order by which each branch leads the Veterans Day Parade year after year. We're going to start with next year's featured branch. It's a Coast Guard city, so I'm not going to talk smack about this group. But established as a revenue cutter service by Alexander Hamilton, August 4th, 1790. Coast Guard, where you at? All right. Next, the Army Air Corps, as they were first called. I'm always call y'all that because, you're named after the Army, little brothers. I'm going to say that. Our second youngest branch, established on September 18th, 1947, U.S. Air Force. I see. Now, this new branch didn't march in 2021. They were still painting the walls. They were putting the Star Trek sign on their flags and everything. But we will see them in full effect when the wheel comes their way in 2027. If they were a child, the branch would be 6 years old in the first grade. You saw that. Founded on December 20th, 2019. Space Force. Anybody, y'all just seen that? That's a pity yell. Anybody here with the Space Force? In the sky, in training. All right, we'll see them soon. All right, we'll see the Guardians. They call themselves Guardians. We'll see them soon. Yeah. Now, to where the wheel began, the largest branch, the oldest branch, y'all know where I belong. I like to call us the best, being all we can be. With a birthday of June 14th, 1775. Make some noise if you're in the U.S. Army. Yeah. Now, next up, I'm not biased because I'm in the Army, but, somebody's got to be the Uber driver for the Marines. Somebody got to be that. I'm just saying. With a birthday of October 13th, 1775. Make some noise if you're part of the U.S. Navy. Okay. Got to get that extra scream in, man. Make up for it. Yeah, no. Now, y'all know what's next. Our devil dogs, or what else they call you. Help me with these names. Jawheads, leathernecks, wearers of the eagle, globe, and anchor, the few, the proud. Am I missing any names here for Marines? Anything that we can say in public? No. Celebrating their 249th birthday this Sunday. Founded in a bar. Nobody else can tell that story. Tun Tavern in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, way back on Friday, November 10th, 1775. This year's featured branch, a United States Marines. Nice. All right, so now to keep the roll call going in a different direction, anyone here who's militia or National Guard, if you wear a uniform on behalf of your state, let me hear you. Anybody? Come on, where's Chief at? Chief, yeah, I see Chief of the militia. Yeah, Chief of the militia. Better yell. Yes, sir. Yeah. Now for our weekend warriors who do it at the federal level, people like me. Anyone in the reserve? Anyone in the reserve? Yeah, all right. And now I got to call out the wild ones, the majority of folks in uniform here. Active duty. Where you at? Active duty? And now just the namesake of our agency, those who don't wear the uniform anymore, but who once did. Veterans. And then I want to talk about the people who love us, folks who stand in the foxhole by our side, families, military families. And everybody should be hollering for this. If you hear my voice, you can holler for this. Supporters of our community. Make some noise. Now, before we continue, I want to mark certain dates. This year marks the 80th anniversary of D-Day. I want to call that out as far as our World War II veterans, our greatest generation. And today, November 7th, this marks the 20th anniversary of the Second Battle of Fallujah, largest battle of the Iraq War, fought November 7th to December 23rd, 2004. 95 killed, 560 wounded, many of those people Marines. Heaviest urban combat since Vietnam. So I just want to acknowledge that and all who are part of our community recognizing that this solemn anniversary. So we've acknowledged those who are here, yelling, screaming, count out certain dates. Want to take a minute to pay homage to those who are not here. Now, as you enter the room, you may have noticed a special table. It is reserved to honor our missing men and women. 84,609 men and women are currently missing unaccounted for from World War II to the present, 84,609. The empty chair represents Americans who were or are missing from the armed forces, all with us in spirit. The table is round to show our everlasting concern. The cloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their motives when answering the call to serve. The single red rose reminds us of the lives of these Americans and their loved ones and friends who keep the faith while seeking answers. The ribbon symbolizes our continued uncertainty, hope for their return, and determination to account for them and bring them home. A slice of lemon reminds us of their bitter fate, captured and missing in a foreign land. A pinch of salt symbolizes the tears of our missing and their families who long for answers after decades of uncertainty. The lighted candle reflects our hope for their return, alive or dead. The Bible represents the strength gained through faith to sustain us and those lost from our country founded as one nation under God. The glass is inverted to symbolize their inability to share a toast, and their chair is empty. They are missing. 84,409 people. 84,609 people. Let's have a moment of silence. And to those who have it, please raise your water glass. If you've got water in your hand, raise it in a toast to honor America's POWs, MIAs, and others unaccounted for, to the success of our efforts to account for them and to the safety of all now serving our nation. Hear, hear. All right. Now, this is a small space, but it's a huge city, it's a huge state, it's a huge country. And to continue addressing those who physically are not here, I want to just magnify the number of people in this room right now. On three, I ask that each of us speak the name of a veteran who is alive and who is not present. In other words, once again, say the name of a veteran who you know is alive and who's not currently here in this mansion right now. Give you a minute to think about who you want to say. Someone who's alive, who's not here right now, who's a vet. 1, 2, 3. All right. Now, out of respect for our people who have transitioned, who are beyond, I ask that each of you speak the name of a veteran whom we know has passed away. First name that comes to mind of someone who is no longer with us. Please say it. Take a minute, think. 1, 2, 3. Let's just hold this space with them for a moment. Thank you. At this time, I'm humbled and honored to introduce our military speaker from our featured branch, from U.S. Marine Corps. Colonel Jimmy J.J. Wilson is commander of Marines 250, Special Purpose Marine Air Ground Task Force. Colonel Wilson commands a balanced air-ground combined arms task organization of Marine Corps forces structured to accomplish specific missions related to the Marine Corps' 250th anniversary. On the civilian side, Colonel Wilson attended school in Texas, went to Texas A&M for undergrad and Southern Methodist University for his master's. He told me a minute ago his graduating class had 54 people in it, Tri-County, out of Hughes Springs, Texas, 3 hours east of Dallas. Well, he's got a lot of Texas roots. We're happy to claim him. He's going to be a New Yorker today, y'all. So please, you're part of the Big Apple right now, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, Colonel J.J. Wilson.
Well, good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, Mayor, Commissioner, event organizers, staffers, everyone, what an honor it is to be here. Distinguished guests, supporters, and veterans and Marines. What a privilege it is to join you here today, the heart of this iconic city, the city of New York. As we gather to celebrate Veterans Week, our Armistice Day, and the Marine Corps' 249th birthday, but we're really here to honor the veterans whose service has defended our freedom, safeguarded our values, and strengthened our fabric of our nation. As the nation's largest Veterans Day commemoration unfolds throughout this great city, we are reminded of the immense sacrifices and steadfast dedication shown by generations of men in uniform and women. Today, we reflect on the courage that transcends battles, the commitment that outlasts generations, and the patriotism that endures in each of our veterans. On any given day, nearly 40,000 Marines are forward deployed around the globe, ready to respond to any climb in place by land, air, or sea. These Marines are the embodiment of honor, courage, and commitment, traits that are woven into every Marine from the very moment that we earned that title. To all the Marine veterans in the audience, feel safe knowing your legacy lives on. Not just on the pages of history, but in the hearts of each Marine who stands ready to defend the way that we live our lives and the values that we hold so dear. Over this very next week, here in this great city, we will honor Medal of Honor recipient Sergeant Dakota Meyer. His bravery and resolve, like so many others, have come to define the Marine Corps. And this weekend, we will witness the commissioning of the USS John Basilone, named after Gunnery Sergeant John Basilone, a native of New York, who heroically served in Guadalcanal and ultimately sacrificed his life at Iwo Jima. His name, like so many others, reminds us of the pride, the freedom, and the strength of our nation. The heritage we celebrate this week is not just that of the Marine Corps. It's the legacy that unites all of our branches across the armed service in a shared purpose and sacrifice. To the veterans here with us, thank you. Heartfelt thank you. We wouldn't be here without you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your courage and your unwavering commitment. Thank you for uniting the communities that we all come from with the values of resilience, leadership, and teamwork. These values enrich our society. They bring home a sense of purpose served and forged in service. These values remain woven into the very fabric of this great city, our workplaces, and our neighborhoods. May our veteran community remain the backbone of our society and continue to return home citizens of quality and purpose, with the same devotion that brought them to their military service. Here in New York, a place steeped in history and resilience, our veterans have left an indelible mark. From the Revolution to the modern-day conflicts, New York veterans have stood the test of time, strengthening the city's character and sense of patriotism. Their legacy is visible in every borough, every generation, and in every corner of this vibrant city. It is with immense pride that we present the Marine Corps as a featured service for this year's Veterans Day Parade. To the city of New York, let us honor the sacrifice, the courage of our veterans, not just today, but every day, through our gratitude and our deeds. To our veterans, thank you. Thank you for showing us the true meaning of service and continuing to inspire us in this unwavering commitment to this country. While we gather here today to honor you, you know that sacrifices are never forgotten. Your legacy will live on in the city, the lives you have touched, and the men and women in the uniforms today. Thank you for your service. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, sir, for those words. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce the 110th Mayor of the City of New York, New York Police Department Captain retired, New York State Senator Emeritus and former chair of the Senate's Veterans, Homeland Security and Military Affairs Committee, and Brooklyn Borough President Emeritus, Mayor of New York City. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Eric Leroy Adams.
This is a day that we truly reflect on. It's a great opportunity for us to honor those who honor us with their service. On Tuesday, we had an important procedure in this country, our elections. And I want you to reflect on that for a moment, because as I move across the globe, I do not know too many places that can acknowledge the fact that they did not have wars since the Civil War that took place on our soil. Outside of the terrorist attack that took place 2001 on September 11th, this has maintained to be a place where stability and the smooth, peaceful transition of power has been our hallmark. All other nations reflect and look upon us with great astonishment. Not only do we accomplish this task by being Americans, but we do it by being one of the most diverse places globally. We live by the belief, those of us who are in this room and wear your uniforms of your various branches, you protect that dash that fits between our name and our cultures. I am not an American African. A Chinese is not an American Chinese. A Korean is not an American Korean. A Polish is not an American Polish, and all other groups. America says you hold on to your culture and then combine it with the common denominator of being an American. I am an African American, a Polish American, a Chinese American, a Mexican American. That is the beauty of our country, where others tell individuals to strip away their individuality. Here in America, we say you retain that, you maintain it, and you ensure that it becomes part of the signature of what this country has to offer. There is no other country on the globe that can have the signature of being the greatest country on the globe but America. This is the greatest country on the globe because of who and what we are. But how do we get there? We don't get there of decades of freedom to have a free transition of power automatically. We don't get there to be able to come up with great scientific experiments automatically. We don't get there by merely having a name. We get there because of you, the men and women who water the tree of freedom, that we sit down and fight against the hot rays of violence that is pervasive in many other countries and nations. We get there because you sacrifice your life. And then after serving, you go into private industries and private lives and continue to use the skills that you have acquired while defending this country. You defend the parts of this country that stabilize us. You are our infrastructure. It doesn't matter if it's someone like Commissioner Zach Iscol, who had to monitor the 220,000 migrants and asylum seekers and deal with the changes in our weather patterns, and sending men and women across the country to assist them when they deal with terrible natural disasters. Or if it's like the 19-year-old Uncle Joe, who I lost in Vietnam. His memory still stays alive, and it doesn't bring closure when you have to continually think about who and what he would have become. But to me, he is always a hero. 19 years old, to be willing to stand up and say he served his country. His symbol of that age and defending this America is something we need to regain in our young people who have become so radicalized that they forgot that they're in the greatest country on the globe. And we need to remind them that on the college campuses, on the job, in the social environments or social media, they are who they are because you served for them in the right way. And so I'm proud to be here. You grace us in Gracie Mansion with your presence. And I ask us all, we may hear the lyrics, we may hear the words over and over again until they become accustomed to us, but I want us to refocus our ears to the words of our national anthem. No matter how challenging times are, no matter how difficult it may be, the rocket red glare of bombs burst in the air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Doesn't matter if those bombs are physical bombs of terrorism. Doesn't matter if those bombs are economic challenges. It doesn't matter if those bombs are all the challenges that we face from pandemics. Doesn't matter if it's COVID. No matter what it is. When you wake up after those bombs burst, one thing you could be sure of, that you will still see Old Glory there, still there. And Old Glory was not created by some philosophical, intellectual individual. It was this everyday woman that sat down and sewed those stars and those stripes. Regular person. It is a symbol that what makes America great are regular people who raise their hand and take that oath and decide they would defend this country. No matter who's the mayor, no matter who's the president, no matter who's the governor, you're still there. And our flag is there because you were there. I cannot say it enough, but thank you, thank you, thank you.
Let's have another round for our mayor. Come on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our program for today. You don't have to go home, and you don't have to get out of here just yet. We have the place till 11 a.m. Please continue to enjoy yourself. Mix, mingle, do your thing. That, and we look forward to seeing you at the New York City Veterans Day Parade, which will be held on Monday, November 11th. Start time for the parade is 12:30 p.m. Steps off at Madison Square Park, near Madison Square Park, at 5th Avenue and 25th Street. Marchers and other participants will proceed north on 5th Avenue to just north of 40th Street. So things end somewhere between 40th and 46th. Once again, Monday, 12:30 p.m., 5th Avenue from 25th Street to 46th. Details can be found online at uwvc.org/parade, United War Veterans Council, uwvc.org/parade. Please join us for the largest Veterans Day celebration in the nation. Lastly, okay. No, y'all, we don't have till 11. We got till 10:30. Just pass the car. So enjoy yourself till 10:30. They just let me know. So we have the place till 10:30. Lastly, information about the New York City Department of Veteran Services and our offerings can be found online at nyc.gov/vets. Once again, visit us. It's nyc.gov/vets. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you.